This is #Africa. Now, if you're looking into supporting more local clothing such as these, guess what? In Somalia, weavers there are fighting to preserve local fabrics as well as wearing of traditional clothing. Now, cheap exports are being, of course, imported from China as well as other countries and is posing a threat to the country.
In a Mogadishu workshop, Mohammed Nur weaves the traditional Somali fabric known as al-Indi. The brightly coloured material used to be highly sought after, but these days business is slow. After decades of war, the adoption of Western dressing by the youth, the influx of cheaper textiles and higher demand for second-hand clothes, weavers like Abdullah Ali are concerned about the future.
I have been working on this craft for 40 years. I only earn a total of 50,000 Somali shillings each day. I do not know what to do with that money because it is not enough. I have bills for my family, and if one of my kids were to get sick, I cannot buy medicine for them. We faced a lot of problems while doing this job, but we do not know any other profession.
Cheaper, new and second-hand clothing is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Africa. Most of it comes from Europe, China and the United States. But many of those in the traditional fabric industry are confident that their product is superior and worth standing up for.
These clothes are much better than the imported clothes because their quality is better since they were woven by hand. The market's not good these days. I'll keep marketing traditional clothes and also telling people that they're not expensive.
Some African countries, including Somalia, have tried to tax imports in order to boost local production, only to be met with threats of reduced business by Western countries like the US.
And into Uganda now, the locals there are feeling the pinch. The country is trying to breathe life into the textile industry, but their efforts are being hampered by second-hand clothing businesses.
Every Sunday at an intersection in Kampala, traders converge to sell their wares. Discarded as worthless by charity shops or thrift stores in the West, the second-hand clothes are popular among Ugandans. They're also an important source of livelihood for low-income earners. Rose Natabi has been selling used clothes for over 5 years.
The clothes sold in shops here don't last long. The fabric is washed only once and after that it tears. These used clothes are durable. They've already been used, but they're better than those made here in Uganda. Clothes made here have poor quality. They're washed once and then they get torn. People love used clothes. Clothes made here are not good. A child wears it for 2 months and that's it.
It's not just Uganda. Second-hand clothes trade is common across the continent, with Ghana, Tanzania, Benin and Kenya among some of the bigger markets. But while it may provide a practical solution to unemployment, critics argue the used clothes trade is preventing Africa from building its own industry. Fashion designer Victoria Merabakini wants the trade to be banned.
It would help out in one way or the other, because at times there are things that are imported into the country, yet there are things we can do as designers, as people in the country.
It's not so easy. In 2016, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda and Uganda all increased duties on used clothing and shoes. But in 2017, a trade group representing US used clothing exporters filed a petition against it. Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda backed down and agreed to roll back the duty increases. Rwanda, which refused, has had its right to export clothing duty-free to the US suspended.
And finally, Zanzibar's women have found an outlet to grow their traditional art. A group of women from Tanzania's island are transferring their henna designs into canvas for posterity and additional sales.
For centuries, women on the island of Zanzibar have celebrated weddings, holidays and other special events by having their hands and feet decorated with henna. But in recent years, the use of the plant-based dye has evolved from the body and onto a canvas. Mwanahamisi Mohammed Ali is part of a group of 9 women who've come together to adapt their craft by immortalising and transforming their henna designs into colourful paintings. The new business is proving to be a better income generator, with one piece fetching up to $300.
On the body, we use black or red henna. Also, painting on the body is a pretty quick process. It's different on canvas. Paintings on canvas take quite a while. As you can see here, they take a while because they have a lot of detail.
It's proving popular with tourists like Annie Lawrenson, who on a recent visit had her hands decorated and also bought a painting.
Wow, this is temporary and it's beautiful to learn here and incredible to watch them do. It's also amazing that I can bring it home and the story doesn't stop just on my hand. It can be taken other places.
Crucially, the new henna business also gives the women more independence in a conservative society that often demands they stay at home. A Tanzania-wide government survey in 2016 found that women are almost twice as likely as men to have no education and less likely to own land or have access to a bank account.
And that's how we come to the end of our program right here on #Africa. But remember, we of course allow you to keep the conversation going online. So you can go to our Twitter account. We are at Africa_ENCA. And we also leave you with beautiful images from our beautiful continent. Until next week, from me, Tumelo Mututwane. Bye-bye. Woo!